Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Like, listen, subscribe. Senior Wesley is currently in witness protection.
Per se is the background. You can see it right now.
Yeah.
We've been offline for a few days. We definitely have seen the news cycle has been crazy.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out our sponsor. You know, it's like he said, listen, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. But there's been some really wild stories going on, man, that we definitely been missing out on since we've been offline. It's been a crazy, what, four or 5 days since we've been.
Yeah, 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I want to start off with the school shooting in Georgia. That was where 4 people were killed, 2 students, 2 teachers, and 30 other people were injured. But this is the new news. The father of Georgia school shooting suspect has been arrested and charged. The father of Apalachee High School shooting suspect has been arrested in connection with the shooting that left 4 people dead. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, Colin Gray, 54, has been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children, the GBI said Thursday. His son, Colt Gray, 14-year-old, is accused of killing 2 students and 2 teachers with an AR-style rifle in the Wednesday shooting. 9 more people were hospitalized. The teen's been charged with 4 counts of felony murder, according to charge documents obtained by CNN. He's expected to be tried as an adult. The GBI and Barrow County sheriffs have said. The charges against Colin Gray stem from him knowingly allowing his son to have weapons. And also, it's good to note that the FBI came and visited the family because he had already been making threats about shooting up the school. Yeah. And the dad said he didn't have, he wasn't able to get guns and he didn't have access to my guns. And so, FBI were like, okay, nothing to see here. Wipe their hands because I guess they didn't have enough evidence to arrest him. So he leaves. And last Christmas, the dad buys him an AR. So,
yeah, this is crazy, man. Honestly, when you look at the situation, the dad should be cooked for this.
He should be charged.
It was a year ago that they came to the FBI, got called. It's not like they called the local police. So obviously something wasn't happening at a local level with the situation. So they called the FBI. The FBI passed it to the local police. They came out a year ago. So I mean, this kid was either 12 or 13 years old at the time when they came out here. So he's already a high risk situation. I mean, who calls the FBI on the kid about, what I mean? Like,
well, he was making threats online, talking about he was going to shoot up schools and, threats like that. And that's why the FBI came out. They came out, but they said they didn't have enough evidence. I mean, if he's online and you can prove it's him online making the threats, you have enough evidence. I've seen black people go to jail for less.
I mean, and I also have seen them put kids through a lot for saying stupid stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's a slippery slope when you get there because anything could happen and they can overreact in some situations. But this situation, they obviously underreacted, but they reacted. They went out and they talked. His dad should be charged to the fullest. The kid should. I'm happy that they're talking about charging this kid as an adult, and I'm not even with that. I'm not even okay with people charging children as adults because he's a kid. I mean, you can't put a kid like that into a situation where he's gonna be gone for the rest of his life, if not get the death penalty.
They charge a lot of kids with as adults. I know, you know what I'm saying? But it's also like this. It's like people, and I was so upset when people were like, oh, gun control reform now. We haven't even talked about gun control in months. First of all, second of all, this has nothing to do with gun control. This is bad parenting. Your son was a school shooter. You should have took 2 months off your job to figure out what the fuck is wrong with him. Excuse my language. And then you're gonna buy him a gun after he made these threats online.
He should definitely be cooked, but it does have something to do with gun control in my eyes. The reason why I say that, I'm a pro Second Amendment person. It does because we got people saying, oh, well, you should just let people arm our schools. So we should turn our schools into barricaded war zones because we don't know how to make laws that are meant to address the gun situation.
I don't think it's the laws, dude. I think you should have armed guards at all the schools. You want to know why? Because our country isn't investing in crazy anymore. All right. That's what it is. It's like look, we don't live in these times anymore where you can just go somewhere and freely just be. I mean, I don't know anybody that's just lived in a time where you can just go somewhere, freely be safe everywhere you fucking go. So everywhere you go, those times are over. If somebody wants to kill themselves, they're going to go get a gun and take everybody out with them. All right. We live in these times. People are violent. You'll be in the grocery store. You should have armed guards at your grocery store. You should have armed guards at the school. You should have armed guards at your church, because you never know when somebody decides they want to go crazy, they're going to do it.
Think about what you're saying. So basically, our whole society should be full of nothing but armed guards, because we don't know how to say, hey, why don't we make laws that why don't we help people understand guns better? Why don't we do what Switzerland's done with guns, where they've made it so that when they're little kids are learning how to play, like, use guns. We're gonna have guns here. Let's start addressing the problem. Let's look at it like, okay, why don't we address education gaps? Why don't we address poverty gaps? Things of that nature. That'll make people a lot less likely to want to use guns.
We're too deep into Americanism. There's too many guns on the street.
No,
everyone has guns. Check it out. Look. You should have armed guards everywhere.
I'm not saying this will happen overnight, but if you start having if the whole strategy is armed guards, then we live in a police state. Then the strategy should start out, okay, of course we need to do something about the problem now. I agree, but that shouldn't be the solution. We shouldn't be like, okay, now this is the Band-Aid over top of the the hole in the dike. This is the Band-Aid over it, because it's not going to work, man.
Look, you need to have armed guards and security everywhere. I mean, especially for schools. I mean, look, we need to do it.
They have them in inner city schools already. You know what I mean, they have that. So I understand that, but that's not the solution to the problem. We all know what that leads to next. Next thing you know, armed guards are going to be killing kids because of accidents and mistakes and whatever else is going to happen.
Because a kid brought a gun to school.
We both know that's kind of the way it goes. You know what I mean? The kid might have brought a gun to school. Anything could happen. The kid it could be a struggle. Anything could ensue. And if something happens and the kid gets shot and killed,
they should have armed resource guards at the school, especially at the schools, because that's always seems to be a target. Someone wants to run up to the school because he knows there's children. He can inflict a lot of pain and a lot of death there. There should be armed guards at the school. Now, if you go to your grocery store and you don't feel safe shopping there, like they have security at my local grocery store, because there's hella homeless people around there.
Where they got security with armed security?
I don't want to give up my location, sir. Where you at right now? Where you at?
It doesn't even have to be the location. I'm asking the store. It could be Kroger. It could be anything. They're all over the place. Let's be real here. We live on the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Like, they have armed security guards.
Where? You know,
I'm surprised they don't have them at Jack in the Box, because they can barely afford the. I'm telling you, we live in a time now where people are more violent. There's more guns on the streets. You should have a good guy with a gun, like we always say, standing somewhere to keep you safe.
With a gun, man. I mean, we just got to be. That can't be our strategy.
Well, look at it right here. Look at right here. The FBI came to see these people. They didn't take the guns out the house from the dad, and they didn't take the son's rights away. You know what I'm saying?
Should they have done that? Should they have taken the guns away from dad?
Or if they didn't take his guns from him, they should have flagged it. So in case, and he bought another gun. He bought another gun after the FBI came.
You know why?
If the FBI would have known he bought the gun, they should have visited him again. Be like, whose gun is this?
Georgia, because he lives in Georgia, and Georgia has some of the most lax gun laws.
Well, that's what you get. You get school shootings.
You get what I'm saying? But if you really look at where the school shootings are happening, you're not hearing about these in the inner city schools, at some big inner city schools. You're not hearing about that. I'm not saying there's none happening, but it's not these mass shootings are not happening.
Well, the inner city kids are different. They don't go for maximum kills. They look, I got beef with JoJo. I'm about to go find JoJo, and if his homies is with him, I'm gonna shoot JoJo and his peoples.
And they also do have armed guards in those schools, so they're not. They know they have metal detectors. They have everything. They're already walking through. They're militarized, man. Is that what we want to turn ourselves into, a militarized society, or that's we?
Well, you have to do so. You have to do something.
We're thinking. I agree. Short term, long term needs to have a better strategy, way better. Because if that's what we're thinking, like right now, we're basically like we're not advancing as a society.
And also, parents need to look at their kids and say, stop being a bully. Man. Parents need to stop being bullies and stop making your kids bullies.
Do you think that kid was a bully, the one with the gun? I think he was.
No, he wasn't a bully. He was being bullied. That's what they said. He was a quiet kid. He had no friends.
To kill over being bullied. To kill.
Hey man, how much? Hey, you never know.
Our society. That's a militarized society thinking right there. Is to kill over being bullied.
We had an Amazon driver, right? He pulled up to a house. The sheriff tried to make it like brush it over. He pulled up to this house. The guy had dogs. The guy wouldn't put the dogs away, so the guy took the packages, threw them out the window. Him and the owner argued, and then the owner calls the police saying, "Oh, the Amazon guy pulled a gun on me." So the Amazon driver is driving. The cops are trying to pull him over. He's just driving doing the speed limit. Sometimes people just break. You can only take so much. That's what it is.
Like
you
I
can
say,
say, sir, you can say, oh, he's being bullied, because you would just knuckle him up. Some people don't want to fight. Some people don't like conflict. Some people don't know how to do it, so they just stand there.
He killed a young black kid
with autism.
And did he have autism?
Yeah, he was autistic.
Then he killed, I think I want to say it was a Hispanic kid of some sort. The other little boy he killed. And then he killed 2 white teachers. And I know he shot a young white girl too. I think he shot like 9 or 11 other people or something crazy.
Yeah, they said 30 people got injured, but I mean, some could have got fallen. It was like
Stampede,
9 people.
all kinds of other stuff. But it's just, I mean, they said he had an AR. This kid's 13, 14 years old. Coming to school with an AR. I guess they said that someone was like either banging on the door or something like that, or banging on a locker, and the teacher went out into the hallway. I heard a little kid online speaking, and he said his teacher peeked out into the hallway, and then the kid shot him, bam, bam, and the kids had to pull the teacher back inside the classroom and barricade the door themselves. This is what we're trying to make. You guys got to think. Like, I understand we all want to keep our guns, but we're not doing it the smart way. We're not
want to wait till the bell.
If you listen, what I'm saying is, if we want to keep our guns, why don't we make common sense like gun regulations? It doesn't have to be anti-laws.
You can't stop crazy.
Yes, you can.
You can't just keep punishing.
It's not happening in Switzerland.
Legal gun owners.
It's not happening in Switzerland, man. Switzerland has.
This is not Switzerland.
Has to own a gun.
This is America.
It doesn't
this
matter.
America.
It's something that works, is what I'm saying. The strategy works. They make people have to have guns in their home when they turn 18 years old. Everyone has to have a gun.
Because they ain't got enough people to go out and fight in their army. That's
okay, but they're not killing each other. But they're not killing each other. Is the point being? What they're doing is teaching these kids that these guns are. We are fascinated by guns. You know what I mean? We were kids.
At the end of the day,
fascination.
At the end of the day, this whole thing has to do with parenting. That's all that is. Your son was off the rails. That's all it is. You can't blame the gun. You can't blame the gun laws. This is parenting. The dad had the guns in the house. The FBI came. The dad bought his son another gun after the FBI came, because he was talking about shooting up schools. The last thing you do, you take your guns to your brother's house and be like, here, hold this one, because my son's a little wild and I don't need him to fuck our shit up. But no, you bought him a gun. He went to school and used the gun you bought him. It's a parenting thing at this point. That's why the dad's locked up. I agree with parenting. I agree it was a horrible parenting job. I agree with that 110%. But you also said bullying. So that means other kids who just make fun of a kid. Now, you got to worry about your kid. There's no way we can stop our kids from doing certain things. They're going to do dumb shit. Kids do dumb shit. It happens. We've all done. I've did a lot of dumb shit. And when I was in school, I could have been, I had situations where I know for a fact I could have been killed in school by somebody, by those literal things that happen. Won't discuss them now, but I just feel like at the end of the day, man, it's not about taking guns away from people. It's about educating people younger and start getting them accustomed to having access to this type of weapons that we have access to, or they're going to take them from us. This is what's going to happen. America are crazy. I get what you're saying, right? But it doesn't, I mean, it's good. It's easy to look at a different country and then look at our country and see what happens when you get 30 people angry, drunk in a group and what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like we are a crazy bunch here in America.
We're not even tops for like suicides and like mental health. We're not even on the top of the list for those things. A lot of European countries are, but they have way better like work life balance than we have, all that kind of stuff. It's not that there's just no regulation here when it comes to guns, really. There's just none. And there's a lot of guns on the street. So everybody got access to it. And I don't have a problem with that, but we need to regulate how people feel about guns. Our feeling about guns. It's all fun and games until like it's something bad that happens and there's people's kids, man.
That's why I stay with mine. Yeah, so I'm just saying, hey,
you can't stay with
my kids not to be bullied. I teach my kids to be nice to everybody. So if the school shooter, I want them to pass him like the dude was doing all the black people in Buffalo. He saw the white guy and he was like, "Oh, sorry about that," and keep going.
And it's not, but it's not about that.
But you can't stop crazy, man.
It's not. I don't. Like I say, I don't feel like we're looking at trying to stop crazy. I feel like there needs to be some kind of laws, or they're going to take these guns away. But let's move on to the next subject. I gotta